Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition Star Citizen. I guess you could call this 3.12 leaks, evocati, info dump, call it whatever you want. I've got some awesome information for you. Now, if you have been paying attention at all to the forums or any of the discords, there has been some pretty big information that's come out. That information, of course, being that the 400i has not only been leaked, but we have a lot of information on it, or at least a decent amount of information for a ship that is not even out yet. So, one of the things I want to go over right now is the suspected specs of it. So it's going to be approximately between 45 to 65 meters long, likely closer to about 65. Possibly looking at the exploration or touring focus, as well as having a size 2 quantum drive. Now that is not all in terms of information. We've also got some early looks at it. Now here's an early concept picture for the 400i. It has changed ever so slightly since then. As you can tell, it has the older origin look to it. And this is the more recent, hangar view of it. This coming from supposedly within game. Now, we also know that it's got 2 turrets with size 3 mounts. It's got 2 size 4 gimbaled slots, so 2 size 3s for the pilot. Also comes equipped supposedly with 3 size 2 power plants, 1 size 3 shield, and 3 size 2 coolers. Along with that, it also comes equipped with a remote turret behind the bridge. All this information comes courtesy of the SC Leaks community. There is a little bit of a rigmarole, some hullabaloo, if you will, going on with the way that this was leaked and released. I'm not going to go into that because that's really not my place to discuss. If you do want to know, you can head on over to, I'm sure you can figure out where you can locate that information. So, with that, I want to do a little bit of speculating as to the 400i itself. Some people were expecting the 400i to be more of maybe closer to like a heavy fighter. It seems as though it is definitely going to be more along the lines of a Constellation class or a Constellation competitor. So much the way that the Drake Corsair is Drake's competitor to the Constellation, the 400i is going to be Origin's response to the Constellation. Now, it seems as though there are a lot of responses to the Constellation coming in as of late. Does kind of make sense considering the Constellation is kind of in its own area in terms of like what it is. I mean, granted, we do have other gunships and other exploration ships, but just for the relative size and firepower and components classes, the Constellation kind of seems like it's a decent middle ground in terms of the difference between large and medium ships. Don't mind me, brain my damage, words are hard. So with that, the 400i is going to kind of be the little brother of the 600i, as the 600i at the time, when it was first concepted, was kind of seen as the Constellation competitor, but it really doesn't fall in line given it's kind of much larger and it is about double the price. So, I want to speculate a little bit further. I believe that the upcoming 400i is probably going to be right around the Constellation price, so I would wager between probably 220 to 300, probably closer to maybe about 260, 270 to try to keep it within compromise of the Constellation series as well as not breaking the bank. Now, the real question, what kind of internals will it have? If we go back to the hangar picture, it obviously looks like a cut down version of the 890. Obviously, it's going to have a bridge. It's probably going to have some cargo. I highly doubt that it's going to have a med bay, as that is something that is, as John Crew said recently, really highly in demand, and they don't want to put it on just about everything. We can definitely plan on a crew quarters of some sort, probably some sort of mess hall. Going to have the turret stations for manned turrets, obviously. What do you think? Let me know down below as to what stations you think will be there or what stations you want to be within the 400i. One thing I think would be a very good idea for them to include would be some sort of cargo elevator or ramp, preferably a ramp, as those tend to be a little bit easier to use. Especially considering the fact that some of the physics grids are a little wonky, to say the least. Hopefully, with it being a competitor to the Constellation, it will be able to hold a rover. I would assume the G12, the Origin-based rover. I would also assume the Ursa, but you know what they say, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, so heh, only time will tell. Now, with that, 3.12 it is an idea that the 400i is going to be straight to Flyable, so we only have probably about a couple of weeks until we get more info or actually get to see the 400i in person in the verse. Now, the real question is, how long has the 400i been in development for? Some sources say it was first discussed a year ago, up to 2 years ago. When we look at the older image of the 400i, it definitely seems like it's been something that's been on the back burner for quite some time. I would also feel pretty comfortable to wager the reason why the Hercules slipped from 312 was to make room for the 400i. Now, for me, it kind of seems like a strange decision, as the Hercules seems like it's a much more anticipated ship, especially considering that the 400i was something that they were going straight to Flyable, almost a stealth release as a surprise. So I'm kind of curious as to why they would go with this versus, something like the Hercules Starlifter, which a lot of people are really interested in, especially after the Crusader Mercury Star Runner came out, and it is shown to be such a big hit. Questions remain on the Starlifter as to when it will come out. Currently on the roadmap, it only goes up to 312, which is the current patch in development, in the hands of the Evocati, which will be coming out again within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't see it coming out after Christmas Eve. I would assume that the deadline would be Christmas Eve, as they don't want to be working on it during the holidays, so whether it's ready or not, expect it to be out by about then. But what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments section. Are you excited for the 400i? Would you have preferred the Hercules Starlifter to be flyable for 312, or do you think it's a good idea to come out with a Constellation competitor? Especially considering, really, with the Star Runner, it is kind of the answer, if you will. It's like Crusader's answer, their version of a Constellation, kind of. So let me know down below. I'm very curious to know your thoughts. Other than that, I think I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope all you beautiful bastards out there, you have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever, wherever you just so happen to be. This is Will, Daylight Gamer, signing out. Love, peace, chicken grease.